Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome, MXLink Live. My two guests this morning, Sara Garcia in Spain, and Sara raced the Dakar Rally this year, and she also raced it in 2019. Both in the original by Motors class, which is unassisted, 12-stage rally. This year she finished and she came in at 22nd. Yeah, so major congrats, Sara, for this year's event. Yeah, we followed it, and yeah, we even managed to connect through the rally, which was really amazing. It was in Saudi Arabia this year. And my other guest is Rachael Archer.
Hi.
Rachel's racing currently in America, the Grand National Cross Country Series. She's racing in the women's class, the WXC class, currently standing fourth. They've only managed to get 3 rounds in this season. Hopefully, when COVID-19 is well and truly past, racing starts up again. Rachael gained a ride in 2019, having only just finished school the year before. So it's definitely an amazing achievement at 18 to gain a pro ride in the States. Rachel's come back home to New Zealand amid these situation at the moment, and it's great to have you, Rach, and it's also great to connect the two of you. I think that for me is really special. Yeah, I'm sure Rachel's got racing the Dakar on the bucket list in years to come, Sara.
Yeah, you should come. We are a little few, so another girl in Dakar would be amazing.
Yeah, it looks like an awesome race.
Okay, so all I want to do is just guide the conversation, and then I'm going to take myself off screen, and if you two chat between the two of you want to ask questions to each other, yeah, just feel free. Yeah, go for it. Okay, let's start with the challenges. I'll start with you, Sara. The challenges of racing the Dakar. 2019 really tested everything. Yeah, mentally, physically. Due to that mechanical issue, you had to withdraw, but you came back this year and fiercely determined. Can you tell us what those challenges are like racing the Dakar?
Well, there are 2 different races: the unassisted category, the original by Motul 1, and the normal one. Also, the normal one, it's really hard. But you can imagine what it would be to race like for 12 or 15 hours and then do your own mechanics and be like at least 2 hours with your moto, because we don't have a rally bike because Yamaha Spain doesn't have one. So we have to really keep the moto update, because there are a lot of things that could break apart, because normal moto, and we put a kit in it. So you have a lot of effort like on your mechanics, and a lot of things around it have done by your assistants, but because we don't have assistants, to do it ourselves, like do our tent or go for our meal, and etc. So we spend a lot of extra time instead of resting. So doing our mechanics and a lot of things. The worst part of my first Dakar was that there were a lot of sand. It was so technical, because we are around the 100th position of the scratch, so a lot of motorbikes in front of us, a lot of cars, a lot of trucks. So sand was really tricky, really soft, because it was so warm. So I prefer Arabia this year, because the terrain was different, but we have a lot of different sorts of terrain. So we have rocky terrain. We have also sand. There's a lot of sand there in the desert. But for me, it's very hard terrain than a soft one. So that's the difficulties of Dakar.
And thank you, Sara.
Thank you.
Okay, Rach, can you
Yep.
right, so I've got an echo here from somewhere, I'm not sure. Can you you faced your challenges when you first went over to America.
Yeah.
And but in the first year particularly, you managed to nail the season, and you came out with podiums as well, which was pretty awesome, considering the girls that you're racing against have got, you know, a number of years experience, and also they live in the States as well, so they're familiar with the tracks. This would also go with you, Sara, too, because the stages at the Dakar were totally new for everyone, all riders. Rach, what were the challenges for that first year in GNCC, and how's it helped you, you know, those learning experiences race this year?
Yeah, well, when you have to deal with all the lap riders, that's probably one of the biggest things. Like, there's normally about 600 or 700 people in our race, so the first 2 laps are sweet, and then you get to like the 3rd lap and you're just constantly passing people, and there's people falling off and hitting things. It's like a game of dodgeball, really, but yeah, you just gotta deal with it, and you definitely get better at being more aggressive and just not caring and getting past them. Yeah, I don't know how many people I've actually hit, but I actually got punched in Florida. I got taken out by a guy going through a whoop section, and he cut into my line, and I T-boned him, not purposely, but he seemed to think it was purposely, and my bike ended up on top of his, and then I went to pick his bike up so I could get to mine, and he grabbed me and started punching me in the head, but lucky I had a helmet on. Yeah, another big thing would be learning the lines. There's just so many lines form out there on the GNCC tracks, and you got to be so onto it. You've normally got 3 or 4 people out there pointing you lines, but the rest of them are up to you. So, like, we bike the track a couple of times before the race and get to know where the lines are going to form and stuff like that. But yeah, you got to be onto it and keep your eyes open for new lines in case it gets really cut up, or yeah.
Cool. Sara, the speed in the Dakar, it's obviously different to Rachael. Rachael's focused on the technique and managing the track. the speed reached, you know, incredible really on those planes. Do you feel like, because you're just solely focused on managing yourself and you know that you have no help when you reach the end of the day's race, do you feel that you should be pushing to your limit? Did you get that, Sarah? Sarah, are you there? We've lost you. Rach, can you speak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Only hear a little bit?
I couldn't.
Oh.
Hang on. I'm just going to refresh it, okay? Yeah. Wait. Don't go. Okay, Sarah might have gone back out and come back in. Can you hear me okay, Rach?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Sarah, is that better?
Now
No.
I could hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, is that okay?
I could hear you.
Okay. Can you just comment on how you manage the speed throughout the stages? The racing over the different terrain, but when you hit the plains, did you feel that you didn't need to push to your limit? Have I got her? Rach, can you talk in case she can't hear me?
Yep.
Oh, she's just going to go back
it's
out
really
again.
delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Now?
Yep, I can hear you.
I was talking about the Dakar race of the planet, I think. Of course, it limits. There was really tricky at the end of the fourth stage. It was rocky, really tired. It was the last 60 kilometers. We have raced for 300 kilometers. So I was really tired, and the sun was so soft because a lot of vehicles have passed over there. So I started about I won't be able to this stage, but then I stopped myself. I stopped my mind and kilometers from this stage, so you could do just 6. So I just side of my brain and keep pushing to the finish line.
Okay, which kind of like says the mental aspect is mainly the main part where you can keep your focus. But Rach, you know, your tracks are technical, and the top girls, you're running so close. Yeah. How do you manage to get that, you know, that little bit of an advantage?
Well, really, it comes down to like just the lines and who's there, who's able to stay up the front the last couple of laps. Because we're all so close, it gets pretty hectic. It comes down to like who pits last on the last lap, like because all four of us have all got to pit on the last lap, so it comes down to like where you pit or who gets past when you're pitting. Just anything like lap riders. Like at Florida, I was running second, and then on the last lap I got taken out by that guy that punched me, and then that was it. I lost too much time and couldn't make it up before the checkered flag, so I ended up fourth at that one. But yeah, it just anything really. We're all about the same ability, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Let's just bring in what you ladies actually do. we'll show everybody. Sarah, this is just some photos put together from this year's Dakar in Saudi. And I just got really small clips because you spin your own tools as well. Now, they were incredible long days. Sarah, how, like, when you're on your bike, does your mind wander? And I mean, hours after hours, how do you keep focused for 12-hour days racing?
You just put little objectives on yourself. You're not thinking about the whole state. You are thinking about, well, I have 150 kilometers for refueling, or just 200 kilometers to find the start of the stage. Are just breaking the whole stage into pieces to overcome them, because it's if you cannot do this, I think it would be so difficult for your mind to afford the whole stage, porque just you think you could be a lot of hours in on your bike. A lot of problems could become, and you have to solve them, so you could not
And like that sort of points right to you, and I'll bring in some clips of your
I can't actually hear Sarah.
Sarah, can't you?
No.
She was talking about breaking down, because each day is so long, like 12, 13, 14 hours. She was saying that she breaks the race down into chunks basically, and focuses on however many Ks. She said it would be too massive a job to have in your head, thinking that you have to cover 370 Ks. Yeah. So I kind of like think that same for you. Yours is different because you have a whole season, and I think you've got 13 rounds. Would that be fair to say that you're breaking it down to your training for each round, or are you looking a little bit further ahead, knowing that you've got different tracks coming up?
It sort of gets broken into 2 blocks, I guess, with the summer break in the middle. So you kind of work it so that you end up having a 3 or 4 week or 2 or 3 week break when it gets to summer break, because you're usually like frazzled by the time you get to summer break. But like the General and Florida GNCC, there was a week between them. So Florida was like super taxing on your body and mind and everything, and then you had a week turnaround to get back into racing the following Sunday. So when they're like that, you got to be careful you don't overdo it and that you can stay fresh. But then sometimes you'll get a 3-week break in between them, so then you can sort of go hard the 2 weeks and then have the last week off. But I've been doing the full gas enduro sprints and the national enduros. I'd started doing them this year as well, so it was going to be a pretty full-on year with like 34 races or something. Yeah, but it's just bike time's the best and racing is the best training you can get, so that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Okay, let's just take a look at, I think this was the first round and maybe the second. This is Rach. And just a couple of clips of riding. That changeover was pretty quick. Sarah, for the intensity of racing 12 days straight, as opposed to Rachel's intensity of perhaps she has back-to-back rounds, one weekend and then another. Does that intensity of the 12 days, how do you prepare for it mentally and physically?
It's so difficult because there's no other races like Dakar. Okay, it's just 2 in the year, but they are so expensive, so I could not afford them. So I am physical and psychological therapists. So they put me on the race, and we start to think about we were doing really intense workouts, like for 2 whole weeks to do that, because there's no other race like Dakar we could train in.
Yeah, and maybe Rach, that could just let Sarah know that you can just step out your back door and do some do some training on your farm. Sarah, Rachel, this is Rachel. Yeah.
Wow.
So
there you
yeah,
go.
that's
Wow,
Rachel.
it's an amazing place for training. Yeah, sure. Here in Spain, we could
can't
not
actually hear
ride.
what she's saying, Sharon.
Eh?
I can't actually hear her. Her mic.
Oh, she was
my
blown
mic's not-
away. She was blown away. So Sarah, there's Rachel's back door, and yeah, honestly, it is a beautiful place. We've been there, and you would love it. Rach, can you tell us? I mean, you do live in an amazing spot in New Zealand, and I know you love it.
Yep.
And you are with COVID-19, it has brought disruption, but it's let you come back home, and yeah, I suppose there are benefits in some way. Has it been okay being back
Yeah,
home?
well, like we always said, if there was a zombie apocalypse, this would be the best place to be. But yeah, the virus means I'm home. It feels a bit weird this time of year, but I should be well into the season and racing and everything. But it gives me an opportunity to be back out on the farm, which is something I love to do when I'm not on my bike. Um, I'm also been using this time to like mix up my training a bit and try some different things and experiment with other stuff, and yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I think one day Rachel will want to do the Dakar, Sarah, and you definitely you're definitely a role model. You finished this year, and that was the first female ever to finish in the unassisted category. And yeah, I think we all think it's amazing. Rach, is there anything you actually want to ask Sarah, or Sarah, is there anything you want to ask Rachel about racing in America?
I would love
um,
to.
no, Dakar looks like a pretty hard out race. It'd probably be something I'd want to do one day. What's the hardest thing about the race?
The mental part. You know,
I
you
can't
could
hear it.
be. Uh, you maybe Sharon could tell you later that the worst thing it's there were a lot of moments that you want to stop because you're so tired, or maybe you have crashed and you have some pain, so you start up your mind, and because it's the only way to the mental part is the hardest one.
I can't.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, Rach, you're super strong upstairs, and who knows, you two may be connecting in future. Yeah, that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I
Yeah,
can't
that'd
actually
be-
hear Sarah at the moment, so
okay. She
I
just
didn't
said
get any of that.
the main part, the most hardest was the mental. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. It's awesome for me to bring together Sarah from Spain and Rachel from New Zealand. And I can see on the views live that I've got people watching, and I've already had comments posted on live, thumbs up, and so positive feedback. Muchas gracias, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and thanks, Rach. Early in the morning, yeah, but yeah, I'm sure there's plenty. There's plenty of work to do now. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, ladies.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sharon.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Bye. Bye. Let's finish it there.